Hello and welcome to the Vegas Apocalypse Quarantine Theater. Well, before I talk about the movies on today's Quarantine Theater, just a little update on the situation here in Las Vegas. It looks like things may be reopening in about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe totally by the beginning of June, but again, I know nothing, nobody does, because everything is so dependent on testing, whether or not we're going to be able to find a place where we can all be tested to keep things down. I did hear that there's a place in North Las Vegas at a Walmart where they're going to be opening up for testing, but I do need to call them up because I think that you still have to wait until you have symptoms of coronavirus. And of course, as we all know, if you wait until you have symptoms, that might be a little too late. But anyway, we will see what happens. And one of the things that has shaken everybody was an interview with the mayor of Las Vegas, who basically said that she didn't mind the fact that people might die of coronavirus. Whether it's on a large scale or not, that's just the sacrifice that you have to make. And believe it or not, there are people seriously having the discussion about whether it's okay to sacrifice the elderly, because the elderly will just love to be sacrificed for the economy. Ironically, most people making the arguments are pro-life people. Go figure. Well, if this is going to be the new normal, I think that the movies we need to review today on Vegas Apocalypse Quarantine Theater should be Logan's Run, Soylent Green, and Westworld. Now, of course, all these movies are easily accessible through most streaming services on Amazon Prime or YouTube. And Logan's Run, as you know, as we get ready to reopen, I think that the type of society you have in Logan's Run is fit for Las Vegas. Very hedonistic and very youth-oriented. And of course, the crux is when you hit 30, you have to die. And as our mayor said, she doesn't seem to have a problem with that. So why couldn't we incorporate Logan's Run as a new theme attraction? Anyway, it's really interesting thinking about the origin of that movie when Michael York, who plays Logan in the movie, was saying that the movie was pretty much a repudiation to the hedonistic lifestyles that were being pushed, as he thought it was, by Madison Avenue back in the 70s. You know, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with, that kind of thing. And so this movie was in criticism of that. Although, like I said, the people who are just so willing to sacrifice another generation seem to be on the pro-life side. When you go back to the history of Las Vegas, one thing that Las Vegas had going for it before gambling even took place, was we were a place where people could come to pursue the lifestyle that was denied to them in other places, like on the East Coast. An example, there's a park called Floyd Lamb State Park, and it's a nice piece of greenery in Las Vegas where you can go and you can have your picnics. They got animals, they got llamas. You know what this place used to be? It used to be a divorce camp, and it was a place where people could go. They could stay away from their spouse for the regular amount of time, whatever it was back in those days, 30 days a month, who knows. And then afterwards they would be able to legally apply for a divorce. So before people would even come here to just gamble, people came here so that they could be themselves. People have the right to live like they want, as long as they're not hurting anyone outside of government interference. And I think that is definitely an American ideal to work toward. And that was what Nevada was back in those days when they had the divorce camps. And even Will Rogers came in and made the statement that when it looks like the government is getting too much involved in your business, go to Nevada. because Nevada is freedom's last stand. That's what Will Rogers thought. And not long after Will Rogers said that, gambling was then legalized, and that kind of took over the things. But I think over the years we kind of lost that about Nevada, that this is a place where you can live as you want. When gay marriage was finally made legal out here in Nevada, my thought was, man, Nevada missed the boat on that one. They should have been front and center in tradition of being the first people that would have the divorce scams, the first state that would have legalized prostitution. They should have been the first state to have legalized gay weddings. So as we go on, I think that as people start to have less and less money, then they're going to want to live their lifestyle, which leads me to Westworld, because Westworld is essentially that. And of course, the thing about Westworld is the people come over, they pay an exorbitant fee for the 70s, $1,000, but they can live in any kind of an environment that they want. Roman orgies, the Wild West towns, a feature place, you name it. Las Vegas is kind of like a big theme park where people can engage in their own zombie hunts, or they can actually do their own fake wars. We do have companies out there where you can actually drive an army tank to experience what that's like, to engage in your fantasy just like you can in Westworld. But if the hospitality industry had it their way in Las Vegas, we would all be replaced by robots. And when you consider that in Westworld, just about everybody who interacts with the customers in Westworld or with the guests in Westworld are themselves robots, then suddenly something goes wrong with the robots and the robots turn against the guests. And when you look at it from the standpoint of somebody in the hospitality industry who kind of fears their job might be replaced from robots, and then you watch a movie like Westworld where the robots turn on the guests, it's a feel-good family comedy. That's the one to watch. And then, of course, Soylent Green. And what can I say about Soylent Green that you don't already know about? As Hannibal Lecter said, people are our best ingredients. That concerns a world where we're running out of food, just like today we're running out of meat. That's what I hear the last time. I hear that we're running out of meat. But we're going to keep the meat packers open even though we might get coronavirus. But we're going to keep everybody open there. But there's a possibility we might have a shortage of meat. What do we do with a shortage of food? Well, if we've already indicated that we're okay with sacrificing an older generation for the economy, why not go ahead and make another sacrifice just for food? I think that there are probably plenty of old people there who just go out there and say, yes, sign me up for the Soylent Green program. After I die, as long as there's not any impurities in me, harvest me and I'll feed a village in the Philippines. And to show you how low we have sunk, there are probably people out there watching me right now, totally unsure if they should be taking me seriously or not. Thanks for watching.